That is Live at 5 for this evening, and we thank you for watching.
Tune in tomorrow after Sally to find out what your doctor needs to know when you enter the emergency room. Now here are Chuck and Michelle with News Channel 4 at 6.
Thanks, Dean and Sue. And straight ahead, a hidden arsenal, secret tunnels, and more than 30 arrests. Who are the suspects and what do they want?
Also dangerous railroad crossings and what's being done about them.
Plus, a high school class asked Asa to ask you for help.
You're watching NBC4, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Michelle Marsh, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 6.
Good evening. A child abuse complaint leads police to a secret stash of incredible firepower.
The police are questioning some 30 people tonight after seizing an arsenal of handguns and rifles from their home. It began with a complaint about child abuse. Police went to a Crown Heights brownstone and charged a mother with endangering the welfare of a minor, although they do say the children are okay. What is not okay is the hidden arsenal of weapons they discovered, and black powder they say could be used for explosives.
12 years ago, federal agents stormed the very same building and seized a small arsenal. Coincidence? John Miller is here right now with more on that. John?
Well, Michelle, for some of the more experienced cops and agents on the Joint Terrorist Task Force, searching through the Brooklyn townhouse was what, like Yogi Berra used to call deja vu all over again. 12 years ago, I was there when the FBI first moved in on this cultish group. The Provisional Party of Communists is an obscure group that has operated out of this Brooklyn area for 2 decades. They are focused on the plight of migrant workers in eastern Long Island and organizing tenants here in Brooklyn. But in the early 80s, this left-wing group came to the FBI's attention as a potential terrorist organization. In the context of the times, the FBI took the information very seriously. It was a decade after the Weather Underground bomb factory blew up the Greenwich Village townhouse. Radical fugitive Kathy Boudin, who fled the bomb factory, was captured later in an armored car robbery in Nyack, New York, where 2 guards and a cop were killed. Joanne Chesimard of the Black Liberation Army was being hunted as an alleged cop killer. And that's when the FBI began to focus on the information they were hearing about the Provisional Party of Communists in Brooklyn. One of the things that's most interesting about what unfolded today is the history of this location. More than a decade ago, I recall being here for a similar raid. FBI agents, acting on information from an informant, filed a sealed, secret affidavit in Brooklyn Federal Court. The informant said there was a group operating in this building, a terrorist group, with plans to overthrow the government of the United States. The informant detailed caches of automatic weapons and explosives and a bomb factory inside, along with a maze of tunnels and connecting passageways. And the FBI was going to use caution, they said, because of the presence of children here. But when they ultimately executed that warrant in the early morning hours, what we found here was different from what the FBI agents expected, and the explosive terrorist case kind of fizzled. At the time, their lawyer was Harvey Lewin.
They're now gone into the law firm's files, as well as the files of about 3 buildings here, purportedly looking for weapons or information about weapons, but it seems to be not terribly discriminating by nature of the search.
Ironically, the guns the NYPD found today may be the guns the FBI didn't find in 1984. When they searched the house using a diagram supplied by an informant, they apparently didn't find the hidden room. Police are now waiting for another search warrant, which will allow them to look even further. One thing I remember from that raid in '84 was the group's leader, Gino Parenti, jumped out the back window as the FBI moved in. He broke both legs, landing in front of 2 agents covering the back door. He has since died, but his group remains controversial. We also just got word of what exactly was recovered there today: 16 pistols, 26 rifles, 5 shotguns, 8 pairs of handcuffs, brass knuckles, and smokeless black powder that can be used to make explosives or ammunition. Chuck?
John, thank you.
A 6-year investigation of the karting industry in New York City. The investigation was conducted jointly by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the police. And we have this story to tell you about now. More indictments in a 6-year investigation of the karting industry in New York City. But the big surprise came when investigators revealed who some of the victims were. News Channel 4's Gabe Pressman reports.
With today's indictments, we take another significant step forward in eliminating the corruption which has existed in the karting industry for so long.
It's the latest step in Manhattan DA Robert Morgenthau's war against corruption in the karting or private waste hauling industry. He indicted 13 firms today, bringing to 34 companies charged with a scam to defraud the government and taxpayers. at federal courthouses in New Jersey, Manhattan, and Brooklyn, and other facilities. These companies hauled away garbage and trash, and the indictment charges they organized bidding clubs, each firm taking its turn and winning a contract for a specific building, the other firms agreeing to bid higher. Kickbacks, it's charged, went to building managers.
We brought a civil forfeiture action, and we're trying to seize the property, which totaled some $250 million.
Among the buildings involved, 26 Federal Plaza, home of the FBI, the old federal courthouse where many historic trials have been held, the U.S. Attorney's Office on St. Andrew's Place, the new federal courthouse. Morgenthau said he'd called the U.S. attorneys in Brooklyn and Manhattan to tell them about the alleged crime in their own buildings.
Are they embarrassed that this kind of a scam went on right under their noses?
I don't think so.
But how do you get the feds to clean up their act?
I got enough problems of my own.
Morgenthau estimates the bid rigging cost the taxpayers more than $1 million a year for several years. Gabe Pressman, News Channel 4.
More than 350 people are feared dead tonight after two airliners collided in the skies over India. It happened about 60 miles north of New Delhi. A Saudi jumbo jet and a Kazakh airliner slammed into each other as one was climbing out, the other was coming in for a landing. Two Americans were among the passengers. Members of the Indian and Arab communities are stunned.
Well, it is shocking because naturally I come from that country, and I like to see India for happening something good, you know. And this is something shocking for us.
Two airplanes, they crashed each other. That's not easy. It's a big feeling, bad feeling for everybody.
So far, the police have found 200 bodies of those on board the two planes.
The rape trial of a former high school wrestling star has ended. A mistrial declared in the Alex Kelly case. Kelly left the courthouse in Stamford, Connecticut, a free man after jurors said they were hopelessly deadlocked. They were split 4-2 in favor of conviction. Kelly was accused of raping a former high school classmate 8 years ago. Rather than face trial, he fled to Europe, where his parents supported him until he surrendered last year. Prosecutors say they will try for a retrial. And John Royster will not face the death penalty. He's accused of murdering 65-year-old Evelyn Alvarez in front of her Park Avenue dry cleaning store. The DA's office told the judge it will ask for life without parole at trial. Royster is also accused of the attempted murder and assault of a woman in Central Park and of a woman walking near the FDR heliport.
Tonight, the police are looking for a man who shot a young father to death on his doorstep. Now, this is a picture of 26-year-old Edwin Sanchez Jr. The father of two was shot on his Woodhaven doorstep by a man who was dressed in a postal uniform. Police say the suspect wanted Sanchez to sign for a package, and at that point, Sanchez became suspicious, threatened to call the police, and was shot dead.
He was dressed as a postal worker, and that's about all we do know at this point.
We were told he drove away in a red, white, and blue truck.
We've heard that as well, but that too is under investigation as to whether that truck was a postal truck.
Police say at the time of the shooting, Sanchez's two children were in the house along with their mother, who may have been a witness. Governor Pataki is going to take the wraps off his plans for welfare reform tomorrow. But already, as Brian Thompson reports, there are details about drug testing, work requirements, and reduced benefits.
At least some of those who run these programs say there is no more room at the inn. And welfare reform threatens to swamp offices like this one with more people who will no longer qualify for benefits. But new federal law requires change. And Governor Pataki says if he has his way, it will include mandatory drug testing.
We should not be providing for people who don't have enough acknowledgement of what society is to them, that they simply go out there and abuse drugs and expect us to take care of them.
Outside one city welfare office, drug testing is not a popular idea.
Because we all have our ups and downs. We have faults.
The people using drugs, what are they going to have to live on? You know, then that's going to make them go out and rob and steal.
The governor's plan goes beyond drug testing. For example, a family of 3 would see its cash benefits drop from $577 a month now to $317 a month after 4 years, then disappear after 5 years as required by federal law. Those who are able-bodied would have to work. Those who are disabled would get vouchers instead of cash. And new immigrants would qualify only for vouchers, no cash. But critics warn,
we need to get serious about creating jobs and moving people into those jobs. And that's not what this Pataki proposal is about. What Pataki is about is simply slashing the welfare, the safety net.
More details of the governor's plan will come out on Wednesday. Then his big challenge will be getting it through the state legislature next year. In downtown Manhattan, Brian Thompson, News Channel 4.
The governor says his plan would continue cash payments for the disabled, including those suffering from physical or mental illnesses that prevent them from working.
A child welfare supervisor who handled the botched case of 6-year-old Elisa Izquierdo has been allowed to retire with his pension. Thomas Gorse, a 31-year civil servant, filed his retirement papers last week after city officials determined the case against him was not sufficient to clear civil service hurdles. Little Elisa was found dead in November of 1995, a victim of child abuse. Her mother, Awilda Lopez, was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 years in prison. A caseworker, Adriana Navallo, who handled Elisa's case, has been fired.
Well, you probably pass them every day, but should you be worried about your safety at railroad crossings? An inspection out today says maybe you should.
And also ahead on News Channel 4, Asa sings the blues for a high school music class.
Imagine a classroom filled with kids who have lyrics, a world-class performer willing to perform them, but no piano. Maybe you can help.
On the next Extra Celebrity Perks.
Whatever it takes to make them happy.
Find out how far stars go to get their way. Plus, new parents falsely accused of starving their infant. The story's on Extra.
Tonight at 7, only on NBC 4.
Our family values platform, Mercury Villager and Mercury Mountaineer. Premium family transportation on a balanced budget. Villager, the minivan that drives like a car, equipped like a luxury car for only $259 a month. And the new Mountaineer, the V8-powered luxury sport utility as capable as it is affordable. The minivans and sport utilities that every family values are at your tri-state Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
What else is so rare, so naturally brilliant, so exquisitely pure, that it can capture the light of your love? This year, give her the diamond that will take her breath away.
You only live once, or do you? Some think being frozen after you die gives you a second chance.
It's not given up without a fight.
Could cryogenics change your fate forever?
This is a life-saving technique.
Dying to live again. Tonight on News Channel 4 and 11.
You may use them every day, but are you at risk? There are hundreds of railroad crossings on Long Island, and a new safety report out tonight raises some serious questions after a series of mishaps last year. More now from Long Island reporter M.G. Perez.
Last November, this crossing arm on School Street in Westbury missed its cue to come down as a train rushed by. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it hasn't helped the Long Island Railroad's image with drivers. So do you trust the system?
I only trust me. I don't trust the system. I mean, anything could happen.
Yeah, I just look left, right, make sure nothing is coming, and then I continue.
4 grade crossings malfunctioned in separate incidents late last year, prompting the railroad to investigate and correct several problems. And the LIRR president ordered an independent study by an outside firm which concentrated on signal conditions. The independent investigation took almost a year to complete, and although officials with the Long Island Railroad say there are no unsafe conditions in terms of equipment and procedure, the railroad is changing the way it does some things. Those changes include revising signal testing procedures and putting more supervisors in the field by reducing their office paperwork. Also, there will be improved training for some signal workers who were criticized in the report for not being safety conscious enough.
Clearly, this report reinforces that the railroad is safe, the grade crossings are safe. But you need to focus on these types of maintenance systems and the people involved with them to make sure you can improve them and get to the highest level of safety you can find.
38 new signal workers have also been hired. Along with safety, administrators hope they will improve morale and public perception. M.G. Perez, News Channel 4.
Now, late this afternoon, News Channel 4 was finally able to reach a representative of the Railroad Signalmen's Union. Chairman Bill Saar told us criticism of his members is ridiculous. Saar claims the union had already warned the railroad about many of the problems mentioned in the independent report.
Well, traffic patterns are back to normal at the Queensboro Bridge, but is the traffic back to normal? Let's go up to Chopper 4 and Tom Frick with a look at tonight's commute. Tom?
Chuck, you're taking a look at the 59th Street Bridge, cutting right down the center of your screen. You can see the long line of lights. Those are inbound vehicles, inbound commuters. Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen, however. That is the outbound 59th Street Bridge. Absolutely free and clear. Live in Chopper 4 in Manhattan, I'm Tom Frick. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Tom, thank you.
And we're going to ask Janice about our chilly forecast.
Chilly is an understatement, I think. Cold tonight with temperatures in the 20s. And a few snowflakes to go along with that, too. I'll show you coming up next on News Channel 4 at 6.
You know that fancy luxury sedan with leather seats, burled walnut trim, and power sunroof parked in your driveway? Imagine actually being able to drive it. The Audi A6 Quattro, all-wheel drive, all the time.
Now on the romance of a lifetime, Sense and Sensibility. Critics call it a romantic treat for all who love love. Glorious, brilliant, powerful, a triumph. The New York Times calls it grandly entertaining and sheer fun. And Time magazine says it's the best picture of the year. Academy Award winner Emma Thompson in Jane Austen's masterpiece, Sense and Sensibility. Own it now for a great low price.
We know this is probably the last thing you want to think about right now. So don't. Think about this. Jeep Grand Cherokee for $0 down and only $349 a month. Or Jeep Cherokee with special values. Both have Jeep's legendary four-wheel drive system to get you through the deepest snow. So head over to your local Jeep and Eagle dealer today to take advantage of these deals. Then you won't even have to think about this again.
See your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
The 20s.
The 20s. It was almost in the teens last night in some spots. Some people are going, what do you mean? We had that already last night. Cold air is over us for a while. Will it warm up at all this week? Well, I think I got some good news for you. I'll show you that in a moment in the 5-day forecast. In the meantime, we had reports of some light snow flurries over Newark. And even earlier, Chopper 4 was showing us a few snowflakes. Mostly clear over the city right now as we look live through our sky cam. Our temperature in the city is 38 degrees. Winds right now are light and variable, the relative humidity at 50%, and the pressure is rising right now, and the reading is at 30.48. The high temperature today was up to 43 degrees after a low of 32. We haven't had any precipitation officially recorded at Central Park today, but we anticipate that there might be a few snowflakes flying here and there, but you certainly aren't going to see any accumulation with that snowfall. Speaking of cold temperatures, we saw lows, as I mentioned, close to the teens. Haynesville, one of the coldest spots in our area, was down to 20 degrees this morning. You might even see teens tonight. And look at all the 20s from Chatham to Island. Red Bank was down to 30, and Rocky Point at 36 degrees. Right now, our temperatures are in the 30s, a little chilly. A little warmer in the city, but we expect the readings to go down into the 30s here tonight. The lake effect snows continue to flow heavily tonight. Upstate New York back through Erie and the Cleveland area getting pummeled again. And some of those flakes have made their presence felt down here in our area, but we certainly don't expect any accumulation whatsoever here. But another cold one expected tomorrow. And the little storm system coming out of the Midwest this week probably will bring us a chance for snow showers on Thursday. So it stays chilly and winter-like. In the meantime, tonight's lows, that's right, 20s, even in Staten Island, down to 28 tonight. Winds out of the west, mostly clear skies, a few snow flurries here and there. Temperatures tomorrow, mid to upper 30s to around 40 with partly cloudy skies. I have some good warm news for you. By Sunday, it'll be back up to 50. So if you can just stand it for a couple more days, a little chilly on Thursday with snow showers, highs in the 30s Thursday, Friday, back up into the 40s on Saturday, and then 50 on Sunday. Have something to look forward to.
Yeah, put my muffler away on Sunday. Thanks. Well, how can you make music without any instruments? You can't, and that's why a whole classroom is asking Asa for help.
That's ahead, along with Len Swartz. Len. Well, Chuck, up next, Andy Pettitte does not win the Cy Young Award, but the Yankee pitcher will join me live from Houston in just a minute. Elsewhere in sports today, the Knicks getting set to play the 76ers tonight. That's Derek Coleman. And out wild play last night in San Diego. All next in sports on News Channel 4 at 6.
So he can lead. Wednesday, the Wings season shocker.
I can take it, just tell me.
Sandpiper's bankrupt and I used up all our savings. Well, at least she's taking it well. Then a fresh Wednesday busting comment. So fresh you want to spike it. And something's wrong with the news radio building, causing strange behavior.
Hey, can I borrow your stapler?
The men behaving badly that seemed impossible. We're getting married on Saturday. Yeah! Plus, all new Law & Order, NBC Wednesday.
They call us sisters. We don't want boys' toys. We want toys of our own. Don't give us brute force. Give us control. Don't say it's safe. Make it so. Protect our treasures. Make it comfortable. Make it beautiful. For the mothers. For the sisters. For the brothers who call us sisters.
The 1997 Mercury Mountaineer.
Once you find out the pet in some of your favorite foods, you go, whoa, red light. Well, I want a green light. That's why I love Healthy Choice. Every dish is a definite go. Takeout pizza. Red light. Thick, cheesy Healthy Choice pizza. Green light. Carry-out Chinese. No can do. Healthy Choice beef broccoli Beijing. Green light. Philly beefsteak. Thanks for playing. Healthy Choice pocket sandwiches. You get my drift. Healthy Choice. Your green light to eat what you like.
Good morning.
What can I do for you?
2 copies, please.
Yesterday, Evelyn Hartwell fulfilled a dream big enough to change her life, small enough to hold in her hand. She got the keys to her first home.
Thank you.
By the way, congratulations.
For a free guide that can help you get a home of your own, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
So Andy just missed.
Just very close. The Yankees suffering their first loss of the postseason. Andy Pettitte did not win the Cy Young Award. Toronto's Pat Henkin did. Henkin won a very close ballot. He got 16 of the 28 first-place votes. Pettitte got 11. Mariano Rivera got 1 and finished third. That's maybe what cost Pettitte when all the points were totaled. Henkin won by only 6 points. He did have 20 wins, 1 less than Pettitte, but he led the majors in innings pitched, complete games. His earned run average was second in the league. Henkin had some very good stats. And joining me now from his hometown of Houston, Andy Pettitte. Andy, thank you. Are you crushed by this?
Oh, I'm definitely not crushed. Obviously I'm a little disappointed. I would like to have won it, but Pat did a great job. He had a great season. He dominated for pretty much all season, and he's definitely worthy of the honor.
I guess your hopes were up there pretty good because most people like myself kept saying, well, Andy, you're likely the Cy Young winner.
That was, that's the big downfall. The last month, Pat hadn't been playing I have, and everybody's been saying that I was going to win it. So, obviously I was getting my hopes up a little bit, but like I said, he deserves it.
All right, you still have, obviously, the World Series championship ring to show for it. We'll show another exciting clip here in New York while you talk, but I'm sure that's exactly how you feel. You've got the ring, and, of course, the balloting is done before the postseason.
That's right, and that's all that matters. I was just hoping I could help us to win a World Series, and I feel like I did a pretty good job of doing that. And what more can you ask for in the World Series ring?
Hey Andy, there's a rule change that may be coming down. I just saw where the general managers want to raise the mound from 10 to 13 inches to help out the pitchers. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't. That'd be nice. These guys are crushing the ball out there. We need to get a little bit of advantage.
All right, Andy, how are you going to spend all winter now?
I'm going to relax, do a little bit of hunting, play some golf, and, just spend a lot of time with the family.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Sorry you didn't win it, but thank you for the thrills this year with the Yankees.
All right. Thank you.
Andy Pettitte live from Houston. Other sports news of the day. NBA tonight, the Knicks coming off their 3-0 road trip hosting Philadelphia. The 76ers practicing this morning at the Garden. They're an interesting group this year, featuring Georgetown rookie Allen Iverson and former Net Derek Coleman, who was healthy once again.
think New York will really present a test for us because, you know, they're up in the upper echelon of the conference. And so that's really going to show us, you know, where we need to be.
All right, we'll have some highlights at 11. Hockey tonight, the Devils hosting Washington. Last night, this was the goal of the evening at the Garden. Marcus Naslund for Vancouver. Score was tied at 2. What a move. That was the winning goal against Mike Richter. Another look as he moves in, breezes past Alexander Karpovtsev, and while going down, the backhand winner past Richter. Just a tremendous goal. The slumping Rangers now have a losing record at home. And last night in San Diego, final seconds of the first half, Chargers ball. Stan Humphries rolls out and just heaves it. Your typical Hail Mary pass. It comes down in the end zone, right to the smallest guy on the field, Andre Coleman. Touchdown. San Diego went on to beat Detroit, and what was worse for the Lions, they had an illegal extra man. They had 12 on defense, and they still couldn't stop the Hail Mary pass. That's sports. Thanks, Larry. Well, as they heard, if you ask Asa, you get results.
So a classroom full of students has sent out an appeal. Stay with us.
I think people like something left to the imagination.
Works for me. On the next Access Hollywood, Tyra, Yasmin, revealing what you don't see in the Victoria's Secret catalog.
They don't give you everything.
No, but we will.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Find out how Rhea Perlman puts a smooth move into her hit TV comedy. Then,
And sex.
Yeah?
Oh, I go crazy.
why Jeff Bridges is crazy for Barbara Streisand on the next Access Hollywood.
Tonight at 7:30, only on NBC4.
We've all got things to do, right? Like pick up the kids, go grocery shopping, move some furniture. Of course, that's after you haul that load of sand for the new sandbox. Now do it all in a Jimmy from GMC. With spacious cargo room, a V6 standard, and plenty of comfort for the long haul. And now with a $299 a month lease with $14.99 down, getting into a Jimmy is even easier. Jimmy from GMC. When you've got to do what you've got to do. See your tri-state GMC dealer today.
He was premature and had a lot of problems when he was first born, and HIP covered everything.
I've heard too many nightmare stories about other health plans where the doctors are penalized for giving patients the care that they need.
At HIP, decisions on patient care are always made by physicians. It's not a secretary who decides whether the patient is eligible for treatment. It's the physician.
If I need a sonogram or an x-ray, I can get it done quickly. Patient care is a priority.
There's store-wide savings right now during Siemens Veterans Day sale. Get delivery before the holidays and make no payments or interest for 6 months.
Lincoln Continental, a V8 luxury sedan that has all the right stuff. Lincoln Mark 8, a 280 horsepower luxury coupe that takes no prisoners. And Lincoln Town Car, a luxury legend that is recognized as an American classic. Every one of these Lincolns can now be reached at the following number. Exclusively at your Lincoln dealer.
What's a song without music? Tonight, we have a story about a Manhattan high school class that has a song to sing, but one thing's missing.
So they decided to ask Asa for help. Asa?
And imagine you're a young person off to a rough start, turning things around, going back to school. You have a great opportunity with a world-class composer. The focus of this story is about something you won't see or hear in it. It's a musical instrument. So let me show you what you do see at the Manhattan Outreach High School.
Many of the students are former dropouts who've dropped back in to finish school while juggling jobs, even small families. Teachers like Leslie Garassi help them not only open the books, but also open something else, the world of ideas. Working on themes from Les Miserables, the students have written original lyrics about discipline.
Kids should listen to what their parents have to say because they're not just saying it for their health.
Prejudice.
It didn't feel good to hate anybody.
And of course, passion.
So she's running to one, saying that she loves him and she's cared for him and she's dedicated only to him, and he believes her.
Through theater contacts, Leslie convinced world-class composer Henry Krieger to take a day away from composing Broadway musicals like Dreamgirls and spend a day fulfilling dreams here, writing music and interpreting her students' words. A true introduction to the world of ideas, a door that may not swing open because of what you won't see, or for that matter, hear in this story. A real piano. Leslie was crushed to learn the school did not have one.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. I mean, as a matter of fact, that day I found out, I was on the phone
with a friend, and she said, oh yes, well my daughter has 7 pianos at her school.
The reason is simple, and there's no bad guy here. It's a question of budget.
Books and other materials take precedent over some of the art materials and things like pianos.
Krieger's special appearance is a few days away. The students' stories, lyrics, and hearts are ready and willing. But the piano wall remains empty.
Hopefully if we get this piano, we can make some tunes out of this thing.
This is not some stupid student expression, boom paddle. I was there. They really do deserve and need that piano. And if you know anybody, a mover, a dealer, somebody with a piano, have them call me. 212-765-4ASA, and we'll make some arrangements. Please call right away. I'm going to look awful stupid schlepping a piano in there on my own, because they do have to have it.
Okay, so let's very quickly check in with Sue to see what's ahead at 11 o'clock.
All right, Chuck, thank you. Racism at Texaco. Jesse Jackson threatens to fuel a boycott while other black leaders go along. Murder in Bushwick. A grandmother is slashed to death. Her little grandson clings to life. What was the motive? And frozen in time, a special report on cryonics and the people betting megabucks they will live again. Plus, Jeffrey Lyons looking at Barbara Streisand's new film, The Mirror Has Two Faces. All this and more at 11. We're out of time. Okay, Chuck and Michelle.
And that's it for us.
Tom Brokaw straight ahead. Good night.
A terrible mid-air collision over New Delhi. Indian authorities say there are at least 350 dead, one of the worst ever. Texaco officials and Jesse Jackson, no common ground. Jackson calls for a boycott of Texaco products. Our special series on stress tonight, your personality. Turns out it's all how you handle it.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.